she's not little anymore. Dakota Fanning is taking on quite a role for her new film, American Pastoral, opening this week. Of course, Jim Ferguson got to talk with her. She's looking quite mature.
Yes, she is. And can you, I'm going to date myself. I interviewed her for her first film, and that was I Am Sam. She was 7.
I love that movie.
And I've interviewed her for almost everything
Yeah.
she's done. So, yeah, we have a fun time when I see her. But I couldn't help but thinking Kyle Meads talked about the American Tucson therapy, stuttering. Dakota stutters throughout the entire American Pastoral. She's a stutterer. And you can imagine as an actress, I think I talked to her about it. You know, they're pushing this one real hard for award season. And Ewan McGregor directs it. It's based on Philip Roth's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, American Pastoral. So it's a great script, wonderful actors, and it covers several decades from the 40s through the 60s, and follows this family. I enjoyed the film immensely. Should we go to Dakota?
Yeah, let's see.
Here's my old friend. This movie, it's easy to understand why. You look at the novel, why it won a Pulitzer Prize. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a layered story and unique, and sort of turns a lot of things on their head, you know, really makes people think. So, absolutely.
Oh, it certainly does that, you know. And as an actress, I've seen you grow so much, and I'm so proud of this performance as Mary. And I know you've heard this all day, but it had to be difficult and hard to work at the stuttering.
Yeah, it was something that I knew would be a challenge. It's just an obvious challenge because it's not something that I deal with in my own life. But it was sort of a reason that I wanted to also do the film, because it was a challenge to push me to do something different. So yeah, I think...
Well, you lived up to the challenge.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you very much.
You know, you may be surprised to hear this, but I grew up I was in college when a lot of this was going on, just starting right out of high school. But it wasn't unusual for young students that I knew to get caught up in this whole thing. There was The Weathermen, there was Abby Hoffman, Free Love, all this was taking place. You know, as an athlete in high school, we had crew cuts, and you revolted by growing your hair long.
Right.
Would you agree that the catalyst for all this, I felt, was the Vietnam War?
For Mary, you mean?
Yeah, for Mary and people, young people at that time.
Yeah, I think that, I think for Mary, really, it just had a lot to do with growing up in the suburbs of New Jersey, you know, into a perfectly happy home in a beautiful house, and, you know, probably not growing up with a care in the world. And then you're confronted with violence and war and rioting and pain and suffering, and you see it on the news or in a newspaper or any form of media, and you know, I think for her, she can't understand why she gets to experience this privilege while someone else is experiencing, you know, suffering, and the disparity and how unfair that is. And so certainly I think the Vietnam War has a lot to do with why she gets involved in, like, the radicalized movement.
And there's another, and I'm almost out of time, but another beautiful subplot, and that is the relationship, the father-daughter relationship with you, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, I know,
I love that part of the film. Yeah.
I think the film is, there's a lot of elements to the film, but I think that really is what the story is about at its core. And I just couldn't imagine a more sensitive person to play that storyline with than Ewan. He's really one of a kind.
And we're going to get to hear from 2 more actors from the movie on Friday.
Yes, we have Ewan, of course, who stars in it and directs the movie on Friday, and I'll also review the movie on Friday, too. And that was a nice little segment with Jennifer Connelly, who plays the mother, who suffers badly. Can you imagine these kids going off to be radicals in the 1960s?
Wow, well, we'll see what you have to say on Friday. You guys, to catch even more of Jim's interviews, visit TucsonMorningBlend.com and search for Hollywood Happenings.